All right, the president's first budget, just unveiled this morning, issues a big blow to the Environmental Protection Agency. That is likely welcome news to Oklahoma Republican Senator James Inhofe. He spent years questioning what he calls hysteria over man-made climate change. Remember this moment 2 years ago on the Senate floor? We'll show it to you. He held up that snowball when he was talking about climate change. The senator joins us now. Nice to have you on New Day. Thank you for joining us, Senator.
Nice to be with you, Bobby.
All right, so this budget, a 31% cut to the EPA, $2.6 billion cut away from the EPA. That's what the president wants. This is the agency that, as you know, regulates a lot of things in this country, including protecting clean water, protecting against things like what happened in Flint, Michigan. Are you comfortable with this cut? Is this a good cut for the American people?
Oh, yeah, it's a good cut for the American people. You got to keep in mind now, all these functions that they're supposed to be performing in terms of the Clean Air Act. By the way, I have to say this, as I did on the Senate floor yesterday, the Clean Air Act amendments were very successful. All these things have worked. Our air is cleaner, the pollution is down, in spite of the fact we drive twice as many miles. But yeah, it's the nature, Poppy, of a bureaucracy. If you cut their budget, then they're going to try to take the things that are popular back home and cut those. Well, I would be concerned about that, except now we have a different budget director of the EPA, and he's not going to let that happen.
Well, you know what? He went to the White House, according to the New York Times yesterday, and asked for less of a cut in the budget than he got.
No, I wasn't aware that he did that, but no, he'll figure out a way to do it. We want to deliver the services. We want to make things clean, but we want to take all this stuff that comes out of the EPA that's brainwashing our kids, that is propaganda, things that aren't true, allegations.
So let's talk about that assessment and that assertion of brainwashing, because the guy who is now running the EPA, Scott Pruitt, as you know, he's been called by many a climate change denier. He refused to answer Wolf's question about whether he would allow climate change research just a few weeks ago on this network. He sued the EPA numerous times when he was Attorney General of Oklahoma. He sent letters as Attorney General to federal agencies that were written by energy companies themselves. They drafted part of these letters, and he just said a few weeks ago that he does not believe carbon dioxide is the primary contributor to global warming. That puts him at odds with almost all climate scientists. So what's the brainwashing that you're referring to?
Yeah, well, first of all, I know this guy and I know him well. First of all, he has actually sued oil companies on 3 occasions, major lawsuits, back when he was the Attorney General for the state of Oklahoma. Yes, he did sue the EPA, but so did more than half of the states, of all 50 states. 27 of them had lawsuits against the EPA because of their aggressive overregulation in different areas that was very detrimental to our economy. And so I think that he has done a good job. In fact, I don't believe you can find an Attorney General that doesn't think very highly of Scott Pruitt and the job that he did as the Attorney General for Oklahoma.
Let's talk about your home state of Oklahoma, okay? These are the folks that you represent. You're dealing in your state with hundreds of earthquakes, a number of them over magnitude 3.0 right now, and these are man-made earthquakes. These are caused by the pumping of wastewater from fracking for oil back into the ground. We know that. I've covered it. I've covered it in a number of states. It's the EPA that regulates that. That's part of their mandate. Are you comfortable with cuts, big cuts, $2.6 billion cuts to the EPA? Cuts that may mean more of these earthquakes in your home state. You comfortable with that?
No, you're assuming that that's what they're going to be doing. Actually, the jurisdiction of that is the Corporation Commission of the state of Oklahoma. It's not the EPA. Now,
no, it is the EPA. I can show you. I mean, let's just pull up part of their mandate from their website. Says they regulate the construction, the operation, the permitting, the closure of injection wells used to place these fluids underground for storage or disposal. If any money gets cut from that, are you comfortable with that?
Well, first of all, that's not going to cut the activity that they would be doing in terms of earthquakes, in terms of something, groundwater that might be causing something. That the balls are still in the air on that. They are working on that. They have some good people working on it. That has nothing to do with the cuts of the individuals that are out there spending all of their time.
How do you know? How do you know their jobs won't be cut, Senator?
Well, because I know Scott Pruitt. I know a lot of the people, as was pretty well documented yesterday in one of the newspapers. And I do know that they're going to turn it back into an agency that is going to be concerned about the environment, going to be concerned about clean water, clean air. And so I have every confidence. And let's keep in mind, the guy who's running that now is no different than the attorneys general of all the other states, because all of them were feeling the same aggressive abuse that was coming out of the EPA that was not designed to do that.
Senator, we're out of time. I wanted to get your take on health care. We'll have you back. Thank you for joining us on New Day.
Thank you, Poppy.
We're following a lot of news this morning.